Hey everyone, Shabby Gamer here, and welcome back to some more WWE 2K16 Universe Mode. Now this is going to be our next episode of the Attitude Era. Now sorry this episode is a little bit late, I've been a bit tied up this week doing the G1 Climax Festival, didn't anticipate just how long it was going to take, but yep, hopefully we're going to catch back up today. And as you can see, I've got to do the G1 Climax today as well. As you can see, we've also got rid of Ring of Honor now. Yesterday was the last episode. Basically just to try and make it a bit easier for me to record, and basically what that's done is that means now that there's going to be a Global Force Wrestling pay-per-view every single month, as you can see, as I just loosely scan through them all and show you all of the logos. But enough of that, let's have a look at tonight's card. Right, the game has bugged on me again, and for some reason it's decided not to continue on with the Batista versus the Undertaker feud, so I'm going to do it manually. So tonight we're going to see Batista taking on Mankind to start things off, and the Undertaker will be at ringside. We're going to see Shane Douglas defend his Hardcore Championship for the first time as he takes on Vampiro, Raven and the Sandman. We're going to see Rhino continue his feud against Kevin Nash. We're going to see X-Pac taking on D'Lo Brown. Chris Jericho takes on Goldust in a Falls Count Anywhere match to become the Intercontinental Championship #1 contender. We're going to see a rematch from last week. This was a Hell in a Cell qualifier last week, which I believe was won by Edge, but Shawn Michaels had a hold of the rope. So management has allowed a rematch here this evening. The winner will go on into that Hell in a Cell / Elimination Chamber match at the pay-per-view next week. We're not quite sure yet what we're going to do. And our main event is going to be a continuation of the feud between Haku and Kane. So without further ado, let's get straight into our opening match. And like I said, that opening match is going to be Batista taking on Mankind, and the Undertaker, the #1 contender for Batista's championship, will be at ringside. And here we go. Not seen much yet of Mankind, but hopefully we're going to bring him in with a couple of feuds coming up pretty soon. And of course Batista is your current WWE champion. Batista now bringing Mankind up and powerbombing him straight down. And there's not really a lot of I can't remember what I was going to say now. My mind's just completely disappeared. Yep, I'm lost, right. Let's just continue on to something different then. Yeah, we're not seeing Mankind a lot. We're going to have him involved in a feud or two coming up pretty soon. Also, I might bring him into the current day roster at some point for a little feud as well. That'd be pretty good. Just to bring him back as a legend. Of course, we brought back The Undertaker as a legend last week on Monday Night Raw, and I don't want to have too many legends on the go at the same time. The Undertaker is in there. It's going to be part of quite a decent sort of long-term feud, so that's going to be pretty good. And of course, we'll see a couple of the legends coming in here and there just to help things out, just to spruce up the roster every now and again. And talking of sprucing up the roster, I downloaded like 12 new people yesterday, so be sure to keep an eye out for them. There's going to be, I must admit, they're mostly going to be for Global Force Wrestling, but there's going to be a couple of new people in NXT, and then of course we're going to be bringing in the women's division pretty soon as well into both the Attitude Era and Global Force Wrestling as well, so be sure to keep an eye out for that. So we're going to have a nice little roster shake-up, and there might be some more people as well involved in Attitude in the coming weeks. I want to try and spice things up a little bit. We've been going now for, this will be 5 weeks now, so it'd be nice to spice things up a little bit. And of course, so we've got Retro Roster on tomorrow. Like I've already mentioned, Retro Roster's only going to have another couple of episodes left. I think, no, I'll say a couple of episodes. We've got 4 more episodes, we've got 3 more weekly shows and 1 more pay-per-view. And then we're going to cancel that one for now as well. Then we're going to go to an NXT pay-per-view every single month. And we're going to drop down to 4 rosters, which I think is going to be a lot more easier for me to get done. And I think it's going to work out better as well, because having 4 rosters means we can get more people involved. We can have more feuds ongoing all the time in every roster, which I think is going to be really, really good. And of course, remember the G1 Climax Festival should end as well. This video should be uploaded on Saturday. No, it should be uploaded on Sunday. Sorry, and we'll have the Retro Roster uploaded straight after. Then the G1 Climax pre-show. Then the G1 Climax. So we should be getting 4 episodes online today. Might be tonight, but yeah, they should be ploughing onto your sub box if you are subbed, of course. If you're not subbed, then make sure you do, because I do upload a hell of a lot of stuff. So if you are interested in this WWE 2K16 sort of either the universe mode or doing random matches, I would like to do the My Career mode as well at some point, and maybe even the showcase. And by having these extra couple of days, it means I might have a bit time to do it as well. I really want to have a go at My Career mode. It looks quite interesting. Mankind with a pin, only for a 2 count. But I've not been able to do anything else really because of all these videos. Doing an hour-long video every single day and editing it just took so long. So by freeing up a couple of days myself, means I might be able to do the My Career mode. I might be able to get involved in the showcase mode, and also continue my Fallout 4 playthrough as well, which I'm really enjoying. Even though I'm about 40 episodes in and I've barely touched the main storyline. Batista now with a pin on Mankind. 1, 2. Only a 2 count. See the Undertaker here trying to will Mankind on. And that's a nice little feud we might try and do as well. Undertaker versus Mankind. The only problem is I would love to finish that feud in a Hell in a Cell match. And the Hell in a Cell matches on this game are not fantastic. I must admit, the AI versus AI ones. We've done, I'm saying that, I've only done one so far. It was a random match between Triple H and Cactus Jack, and it was okay. Cactus Jack used the chair in the match that was pretty good, different from last year, but still, they didn't really use the environment too much to their advantage. Batista with a pin after that big spine buster, 2, and no, Mankind kicks out. And of course, we already know that our main event next week is going to be Batista versus versus The Undertaker. Now we're thinking that is going to be a Hell in a Cell match. I'm thinking that's going to be Hell in a Cell, but then the 6-man match, I'm considering changing that to a Elimination Chamber match, because I just think it'll work a lot better and we'll get a much better finish to the match. So I'm thinking that's probably what we're going to do. And we might even try and debut a couple of new people at the Unforgiven pay-per-view next week as well. Who knows? We'll have to wait and see what happens over the next couple of weeks. Batista with a submission locked in on Mankind. Almost like a Rings of Saturn style move that was. Batista with a pin, and again it's still only enough to keep him down for a 2 count. Big stamp on the back there by Batista to Mankind. And just clubbing blow across the back of Mankind again by Batista. And Batista now just slamming the knee of Mankind into the mat. Very painful move. Batista brings him back up to his feet. Snapmare, middle of the ring, looking to slow the pace of the match down. Maybe Mankind with a back elbow. Manages to break free. Big boot to the stomach of Mankind, and a big belly-to-belly slam as well there by Batista. I'm not sure if we'll keep Batista in this roster for too long. I've had a couple of people mention that Batista wasn't part of the Attitude Era, which I completely agree with, but we did use him here just because he didn't really fit in any of the rosters. So maybe we could take Batista out of here and maybe put him into the main show at some point. Maybe comes back to reform some sort of evolution with Triple H and Randy Orton. Maybe that'd be pretty good. Bring back Ric Flair as well. Maybe Triple H could go face and we could do Evolution versus the Authority. That'd be pretty good. Big sit-out powerbomb there. The Batista bomb by Batista. And surely the WWE Champion is going to pick up the victory here now. But he's struggling to really capitalise on the big impactful move done. You see Undertaker trying to get the crowd here behind Mankind. And Mankind getting back up to his knees. And as you see, Batista was struggling for energy there himself. Mankind now slamming Batista's face into the mat. And Mankind lining Batista up. What does Mankind have planned? There's the mandible claw. Is Mankind going to pick up a victory here over the WWE Champion? Has the Undertaker got into the head of Batista here, being at ringside? Batista manages to survive the mandible claw. And kicks out the pinfall afterwards as well. I just want to take this chance to thank all you guys again, because I'm getting very, very close now to 2 massive landmarks here on this YouTube channel. I'm about 50 guys away now from becoming 2,000 subscribers. So if you're not subscribed already, please do help me out here, because I would love to get to 2,000 subscribers before Christmas. That's only 5 days away though. And I'm also at 94,000 views, so 6,000 more views and I'll hit 100,000 as well. I'm thinking if I can do both of those by Christmas, I'll have some sort of something special lined up, as Batista does pick up the victory here over Mankind. Big victory here for Batista in front of the #1 contender, The Undertaker. These two guys, like I said, will face off in a couple of weeks' time at Unforgiven. And that's going to be a pretty damn good match. That I'm looking forward to that. As I said, we'll probably have Undertaker versus Batista inside the cell, and then we'll have the other 6 guys who are currently The Rock, Psycho Sid, Rikishi, Stone Cold Steve Austin, Booker T, and the winner of this evening's Edge versus Shawn Michaels inside the Elimination Chamber for the World Heavyweight Championship. Of course, The Rock won that World Heavyweight Championship away from Edge at our last pay-per-view. However, Farouk's appearance at ringside may have been a bit more helpful for The Rock. And that may also be one of the reasons why management booked this Elimination Chamber match for Unforgiven. Mainly because of it basically to get rid of the influence of Farouk. He can't get himself involved in the match. And the Nation of Domination will be null and void. So yeah, let me know what you guys think as well. Do you want, if Batista is to lose the championship at Unforgiven, would you rather see Batista taken out of this roster and used as a legend to bring into our current day roster at some point? Or would you like him to stay in this roster as a permanent member? There are some people staring right in my front window at me. It's really strange. Batista victorious though. Building up some more momentum towards Unforgiven next week. And this could be a very big victory for Batista. Of course, he did successfully defend his WWE Championship at the last pay-per-view against Stone Cold Steve Austin. If he was to defeat The Undertaker as well, that would really prove his dominance here. And here we are, Albuquerque. And wow, the loading screens are very long, I must admit. And there you see Shane Douglas, one of the original Heyman guys. The current hardcore champion as well. His first defense of the belt, won it at the last pay-per-view, I believe. On the pre-show, the Backlash pre-show. Yeah, he defeated Sabu, Sandman and Taz to pick up that championship. And this is his first defense, and it's not going to be an easy defense. Fatal 4-way. We're trying to keep a lot of the Hardcore Championship matches sort of multiple people, because the Hardcore Championship did change hands a lot of times back in the Attitude Era, and I think that's just a good way of doing it. I've got in my mind a couple of other guys that I want to try and bring in that might make this Hardcore Championship a little bit more interesting once again, and also bring in a brand new tag team into the Attitude Era. But I'm not going to give anything away as yet. Maybe at our Unforgiven pay-per-view you can see a couple of new debuts. That's what I tend to like to do. I tend to like to bring in some debuts, mainly at the pay-per-views, just to spice things up, make it a little bit more interesting, make that pay-per-view feel a bit more special as well. Now the franchise, the champion, is in the ring, and I'm now hoping that all these guys' entrances are done correctly. Because I must admit, sometimes I download these entrances and they're not perfect. Right now, Raven, I can tell straight away, this beginning bit sort of suits him, but at the same time, we know he's going to have the Colin Cassidy entrance. So I might have to have a look at Raven's entrance at some point. I'm going to write that down on my list. I've got a massive list of things to do in this game right now. Because I've downloaded so many new people, yes, I need to go through and check their movesets. I need to go through and check their stats, because some people, I don't understand why some people do it. They create wrestlers and they give them like 100 stats, which I don't mind. If you were to give somebody 90, that's perfectly fair. You've given them what your opinion is of them. But if you give them absolutely max and everything, that doesn't make sense. Oh, that's it. That's in my book anyway. So the Raven entrance needs sorting. Okay. Let's see if we have to add anyone else. I know the Sandman's entrance is good on this game. He basically has Roman Reigns' entrance through the crowd, but I've not actually seen Vampiro's entrance as of yet. And I do like Vampiro, and I've got a big plan for some feuds for him in the future as well. Not just... Here is Vampiro. And yes, he also has the same entrance. Okay, that is annoying. That is annoying. It's something that I should have been checked beforehand, I suppose. But when the loading screen for the entrances is this long, then it gets a little bit annoying, but there you go. Yeah, so we're going to have some big things for Vampiro over the next few weeks. He's going to be involved in a big storyline in our Global Force Wrestling brand, leading up to our next pay-per-view. He's also going to be involved in a feud in the next month here of Attitude Era as well, I've got planned. And it was one of my favourite feuds from WCW, so I want to try and do that as well. And I still need to watch the end of Lucha Underground, because I've got a feeling that one of the story I've still not watched the last 3 or 4 episodes. I don't think I've watched Penultima Lucha or Ultima Lucha, which were the last 2 or 3 episodes, I think. And yeah, I really need to watch them, because I think that unearthed a big storyline involving Vampiro. And here comes the Sandman. This guy, when I was younger, this guy was like the coolest wrestler ever. He used to come out with a beer in one hand, cigarette in the other. He'd smash the can of beer against his head until he was bleeding. He'd be pouring beer into people's mouths in the crowd. He was so over, it was unbelievable. Considering he wasn't really the best wrestler in the world, he was just there to take a few hits, give a few Singapore cane hits, but still he was just so over with the ECW crowd, it was unbelievable. And talking of the ECW crowd, we've got some fantastic ideas for NXT takeover events for you. Because we're getting rid of the retro roster, we're going to have an NXT pay-per-view every single month. And I've been looking through the community creations, and some people are just so inventive with what they've done. It's incredible, and so we've got some really good takeover events coming up for you. And there is the Sandman. So, a big hardcore championship match here live on Friday Night Raw is War. Shane Douglas defends against Vampiro, Raven, and the Sandman. And here we go. So basically, I've not made this as an Extreme Rules match. I've made it as a Falls Count anyway, which means that weapons still count. You can still use weapons in this kind of match, but it means that pins can take place anywhere inside the arena. I think that's the best way of doing it, because if you stick it to an Extreme Rules Fatal 4 match, then pinfalls have to take place inside the ring. And that sort of means at the moment we would know that neither Shane Douglas or Vampiro are going to win this match, because they're on the outside and only people inside the ring can pin. So basically, by making it a Falls Count Anywhere match, it leaves it open. And that's what I'm basically going to do with all my Fatal 4 matches now. Every single one is going to be a Falls Count Anywhere, because Fatal 4 matches, disqualification never works anyway, because if you disqualify someone, what happens? There's 3 other people in the match. So you see Shane Douglas there did have a hold of a chair, but Vampiro taking that chair away from him. And now Raven looking underneath the ring as well. And Raven has a baseball bat, but the Sandman pulls that baseball bat away from Raven. And Raven takes the baseball bat away from the Sandman. And there you go, Raven just taking Sandman out with that baseball bat. And dropping a knee into the middle of the back of the Sandman as well. I'm going to try and spice the hardcore division up a little bit, because it's going to be very easy just to have basically these 4 guys. You've got RVD and Sabu. And I think that's about it, really. We've got in the hardcore division. We've got Just Incredible as well, and Bam Bam Bigelow. So I suppose there are quite a few guys we can have involved in these Fatal 4 matches. So like I said, we're going to try and spice it up and bring a few new people in here and there. That's the basis of this whole universe mode, though, is just to keep the whole thing open, fluid, keep bringing in new people, taking people out, then bringing in other people, and that's sort of basis for things, which is the best way to do it, really. Clothesline there, middle of the ring by the Sandman on Raven, as Shane Douglas continues the assault on the outside on Vampiro. Douglas in with a pin. Referee very, very slow down. 2. It's only a 2 count. Vampiro does kick out. You think the referee got down quicker. That could have been a 3 count, but then again, Vampiro may have been taking the advantage of the extra couple of seconds just to regain a little bit more energy. Sandman, big powerbomb, middle of the ring there on Raven. Now Sandman up to the middle rope. And a big splash on Raven as well. Sandman doing a great job here and just dropping a leg onto the inside of the knee of Raven. Very painful move. Great drop kick there by Shane Douglas on Vampiro. And you see the Sandman and Shane Douglas, I was going to say both in control of this match at the moment, but Shane Douglas again with a pin on Vampiro. 1, 2, and no. Vampiro does kick out. You saw the Sandman and Raven just staring down the Raven. Sandman was staring down at the pin. Turn around and Raven caught him straight with the Raven effect. 1, 2, and no. Sandman kicks out. Shane Douglas was not going to get there in time, and Raven nearly became the hardcore champion here for the first time in this universe mode. Of course, Sandman has already been the hardcore champion. Shane Douglas, the current hardcore champion. I think Sabu has been the hardcore champion as well. So what I wanted to try and do in this universe mode is have a lot of different hardcore champions, because that's the basis of it really. The hardcore championship changed hands a lot. It's a bit of a shame they took out the backstage brawls, because I would have liked to have done like the 24/7 rule where we could have had like several championship changes in a night sort of thing with just backstage brawls. I do. It's a shame they've taken that out. I know they said before the game came out, they said, oh no, we're not taking any match types out. You're going to have more match types than ever before. And there are so many missing. It's unbelievable. It's really limited what I was going to do this year. I really wanted to use those backstage brawls as a way to create my own cutscenes. People attacking people backstage, like I did on 2K15, where we saw, for example, like the Wyatt family take Kane out and things like that. But it's a shame they've taken that out. It really does limit us. What's Vampiro lining up here? Oh, a superplex to the outside on the hardcore champion Shane Douglas. But how much damage has Vampiro done to himself there as well? The crowd shouting this is awesome, and I think they're correct. Vampiro now. Backdrop on Raven, and Sandman sneaks past Vampiro and creeps into the pin here on Shane Douglas. 1, 2, and no, Shane Douglas, the time he had was enough to recoup and get out of that pin. Sandman nearly stole a victory there from Vampiro. Talking of Vampiro, he's under the ring looking for some weapons, but I think they've all been taken. Great big kick there by Vampiro to the head of Shane Douglas. Oh, you saw Vampiro there. Raven had taken Sandman up onto his shoulders. Vampiro just slamming the chair into the back of the Sandman, and now Vampiro going up top. What's Vampiro looking for here? A big diving elbow to the outside on Sandman. In for the pin he goes. And that was nearly a very, very embarrassing finish to this match. I've noticed that quite a few times. The pin is on the ground, but they keep trying to punch the pin broken. And Shane Douglas almost stole the victory off Raven again there. And this has been some match this for the Hardcore Championship. Great spinning kick there by Vampiro on Sandman, as Sandman's been busted open. I'm not quite sure that's a bad thing for the Sandman though. We know it is like when the blood's there. Shane Douglas has Vampiro locked in their head scissors, and Raven sneaks in for the pin, and Raven again almost stole the Hardcore Championship away there. And Vampiro busted open now as well by Shane Douglas. Two of these four men are now streaming with blood. Raven with a big Raven effect on the outside. Both guys down. Raven looking to try and crawl into the pin. On Sandman, that's what he needs to do. Shane Douglas hasn't even noticed yet. Shane Douglas has his back to the whole thing. Russian leg sweep. And no, the Sandman kicks out after two once again. Shane Douglas didn't even notice. He was too busy attacking Vampiro. Complete shot there by Shane Douglas on Vampiro. Raven now with Sandman up on his shoulders, drops him in that front slam. In for the pin he goes. Shane Douglas with a big diving elbow. And there you go. Raven is your new hardcore champion. Shane Douglas put his own body on the line there to dive off the top rope onto Vampiro. And that did allow Raven enough time to finish off the Sandman. And Raven is your new hardcore champion here. So we've had 4 hardcore champions now so far in this universe mode. And that's the whole point of the hardcore challenge. Like I said, it should be a belt that changes hands very often. It should have some really high octane, high sort of entertainment value matches like we've seen here this evening. This has been probably the best hardcore championship match I think we've had so far. We saw a lot of big moves. And how Sandman kicked out of the second Raven effect, I've got no idea. On the outside as well, Sandman busted open, just showing the resilience he has. But you see just 1, 2, and then Sandman kicks out on the brink of 3. And you see again Shane Douglas distracted. Comes across to see what's going on. Then makes his way up onto the top rope here to dive down, and Vampiro not paying any attention to what's happened behind him. Shane Douglas dives off, as you saw his feet there. And that was enough time for Raven to pick up the pin on the Sandman. And Raven is your hardcore champion. So, great win here for Raven. We've seen 2 fantastic matches so far here on Friday Night Raw is War. And we've still got 5 action-packed matches to come up for you as well. Action-packed, that's the words I'm looking for. But Raven is our 4th hardcore champion now in this universe mode. Everyone's held it once. Raven, the Sandman, Sabu, and Shane Douglas. How long will Raven hold it for, though? I don't think anyone's actually successfully defended it yet. Right, attempt number 5. Here we go. Kevin Nash in the ring. Rhino makes his way in, and Nash just attacking Rhino as he makes his way into the ring. And there you see the referee not happy, pulling Kevin Nash away from Rhino. Match won't start until the referee rings the bell. Now, what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to actually play this match because this keeps glitching out. So who am I going to be? I think it should be only fair if I'm Kevin Nash, considering he got the advantage to start things off. So basically, I am Kevin Nash yet. Basically, the problem has been is that Kevin Nash just stands there staring at Rhino. And Rhino doesn't do anything until Kevin Nash makes a move. And Kevin Nash won't make a move because Rhino's still in the corner. Now, I will say it right now that I'm not very good at this game. I've not played it at all. This is my first match on 2K16. I've not played a single match. I've literally watched everything and recorded it all for you guys. So I've not actually played anything. This will be a good indication of how good I'm going to be, I suppose, in the My Career mode. But at the moment, it's looking like Rhino might just hammer me. At the moment, I am on Legendary difficulty, which I don't normally play any game on the hardest difficulty. That's probably why I'm struggling. I'm still struggling to figure out the timing for the reversals and things like that. But I can't believe it's another... Ooh, okay. Yep, I get it. Okay, I must have used all my reversals. Okay. I can't believe it's another example here where another glitch in the game. Like, I tried that 5 different times that start to the match, and every single time Kevin Nash just stood there staring at Rhino. Rhino just laid there staring back at Kevin Nash. And it was a little bit annoying. Big boot there. I'm doing well, actually. Doing better than I expected. I think that's the new system with the lack of reversals, I think. Because on 2K15, you just got reversed all the time. So I'm not sure now. I think I'm not allowed to press reverse that often because it's because it'll become a bit too much, I think. You'll end up using all your reversals too quickly. I'm actually doing all right here. Doing better than I thought I would do. I thought I'd just get absolutely hammered in this one. Oh, and here we go. Kevin Nash taking Rhino up. Jackknife powerbomb. Now, how do I pin? That's a good question. It's circle. 1, 2. And there you go. I picked up a victory. My first ever match here. Granted, it was a bit easy because we had the finisher to start things off because of the cutscene. But Kevin Nash does pick up the victory here over Rhino. I've had to play it myself, and it actually wasn't too bad of a match, to tell the truth. It sort of makes me a bit more likely to maybe play some matches myself in the future, maybe to make them a bit more interesting. Maybe I could do Batista versus The Undertaker at Unforgiven. Who knows, but at least it means that I might do a decent enough job when we get into the My Career mode, because that's something I really want to do. And the interesting thing I've got with My Career mode is instead of using a created wrestler, I'm tempted to almost use an actual wrestler we downloaded, someone like AJ Styles or someone like Austin Aries, someone like that in My Career mode. Not quite sure if I will do or not yet. But big sexy Kevin Nash victor here in this rivalry match against Rhino. So let's just get a quick update on the feud. Rising tensions. Hostility is starting to grow between rivals Kevin Nash and Rhino. So, nothing's happened here. So, Rhino has become more prideful, quite a chunk more prideful actually, and a bit more bold, whereas Kevin Nash has, he's already got quite a bit of momentum behind him, which is pretty good. I don't know why he's allies with Goldberg for. That must be part of the feud that happened earlier on. And Kevin Nash has become slightly more egotistical and more bold from this one as well. And our next match is going to be X-Pac taking on D'Lo Brown. I think I might have missed that loading screen. So I'll just look at a picture of someone who's just subscribed to me on YouTube, and she is. Let's get a picture of her, isn't it? Who is that? So I'm getting completely distracted on my other laptop. But anyway, this match is going to be an interesting one. Both these guys I see as being part maybe of our Cruiserweight division, part of our European division, and maybe even at a stretch going for the Intercontinental belt. I like the idea of using X-Pac in some feuds as well, maybe, because X-Pac is quite a good one for feuds, actually, X-Pac. He's had some big high-profile feuds in the past against the likes of Kane, which I think was over Tori, was it? When Tori was supposed to fall in love with Kane, and it ended up being a joke, and it built this feud between Kane and X-Pac. So maybe we can use X-Pac in a couple of feuds here and there, and maybe also in a manual feud against the Nation of Domination at some point, which would see these two in direct competition anyway. I think I mentioned that before, maybe The Rock versus Shawn Michaels, Farouk versus Triple H. We could have the New Age Outlaws versus D'Lo Brown and The Godfather, and then maybe X-Pac versus Mark Henry, maybe? Or the New Age Outlaws versus... X-Pac versus Mark Henry would be quite an interesting little one, actually. We don't have to have specific people against each other, do we, really? If it's going to be an open feud that we can do ourselves, we can just... we can do it manually. That's probably the best way of doing it. Big gutbuster there by X-Pac on D'Lo Brown. Now X-Pac slides back into the ring. A big boot to the back of D'Lo as well. And a reverse DDT by X-Pac on D'Lo Brown as well. Referee's up to a 3 count as X-Pac throws D'Lo back into the ring, and a big elbow to the face. Now we do need to actually come up with a #1 contender for the Cruiserweight Championship. Tonight we're doing the Intercontinental Championship, and the final guy in the Elimination Chamber match coming up. Apart from that, we don't have #1 contenderships for anything so far. We need to get one for the European Championship, one for the Cruiserweight Championship, one for the Tag Team Championship as well. So that's probably quite a lot to do next week. You know what? Let's just do it impromptu, maybe right now. The winner of this match will go on to face off against... Who is our Cruiserweight Champion? Dean Malenko at Unforgiven for the Cruiserweight Championship. Let's just do that. Because that means then we only need to figure out 2 #1 contenders next week. Which I think would be pretty good. I think both these guys will be pretty good sort of competitors for that Cruiserweight Championship as well. Great head scissors there by X-Pac, taking D'Lo Brown down. In for the pin he goes. 1, 2... Oh, nearly a 3 count. And I'm hoping we're going to get the new DLC pretty soon. The DLC, I don't understand why 2K have just made the whole DLC a complete secret. They've not given us any dates for release or anything. I just don't understand why they're doing it. I know we had a patch a few weeks back which put all the DLC on the game ready to go. It's just waiting for the day now where they switch it on. Not even sure what the first DLC is going to be. I think it's the Legends pack. I think it's the one that's going to involve Lita, Trish Stratus, Rowdy Roddy Piper, Mr. Perfect, Kurt Hennig, among others. And I'm thinking we'll probably see Kurt Hennig and Lita and Trish, of course, come straight into this roster. And the Big Boss Man as well comes straight into this roster. Rowdy Roddy Piper, not quite sure yet if we'll bring him into this roster. He was in the Attitude Era in WCW, so maybe we could bring him in. That's some very loud sirens go straight past my front window. Big butterfly suplex off the top rope. There by X-Pac on D'Lo Brown. And what's X-Pac going for? Now we're going to see a little bit... We don't see a lot of springboard in this game. We saw loads and loads on 2K15. And the springboard seemed to have been toned down quite a bit on this game. Snapmare now by X-Pac on D'Lo Brown. Now locking him into a headlock as well. D'Lo back up with a headlock of his own on X-Pac. X-Pac with a front charge and a big knee to the face of D'Lo Brown. I'll tell you what, this is going to be a bit of a longer episode than normal, isn't it? Because we're only on match number 4 now, and we're already at 45... Well, I'm already at 45 minutes. It's probably be able to cut about 6-7 minutes off for you guys. And we've still got 3 big matches to come. We've got the Intercontinental Championship #1 contendership match coming up next. Which is, of course, Jericho versus Goldust. The winner will go on to face DDP at Unforgiven. We've got the Hell in a Cell qualifying match. Well, sorry, it's the Elimination Chamber qualifying match now. Between Edge and Shawn Michaels. And then, of course, we have our rivalry match in our main event between Haku and Kane. Sit-out powerbomb there by D'Lo Brown. 2... And D'Lo Brown picks up the victory. We're going to see D'Lo Brown versus Dean Malenko at our pay-per-view Unforgiven. Not quite sure if that'll be on the main card or the pre-show. We'll have to wait and see. We'll have to wait and see what other good matches we start to bring up. But I'm going to add it to our sheet now anyway. So, Cruiserweight Championship. I'm just scribbling now. Is Malenko versus D'Lo Brown. And just to spice things up, let's have Kama Mustafa at ringside. So this is going to be a way to just try and use the stables to an effect. There's no point in having the likes of D'Lo, Kama Mustafa, Farouk, The Rock, Mark Henry all in the stable unless we actually use the stable to their advantage. That's why I'm going to put Kama Mustafa at ringside. The same reason we put Farouk at ringside for our main event at Backlash for The Rock. And let's see what happens in that one. That's going to be a couple of weeks' time. No, it's actually next weekend at Unforgiven. And our next match is going to be the Falls Count Anywhere match to decide the Intercontinental Championship #1 contender as Chris Jericho takes on Goldust. And here we go. Not seeing much of Goldust, really. And it'd be nice to see him involved. Of course, he was a multiple-time Intercontinental Champion. Once Kurt Hennig comes in as well, I think he'll be frustrating to the IC Championship. Be pretty good. Also like to see Kurt Hennig on the main roster at some point, maybe teaming up with Curtis Axel for a little bit of time as the Team Perfection or something stupid like that. We'll figure something out. We will figure something out. But that'd be a great way to give Curtis Axel a little bit more relevance on the main roster. The moment I do have a plan for him actually at the moment, which would involve getting him a lot more relevance. And well, maybe we can actually do that. Still something that I've been playing around with in my head. At the moment, I'm just trying to keep track. At the moment, our big feud or big rivalry going on the current day roster is going to be involving Sheamus. Of course, we saw on Monday night he joined the Authority after a big match against Dean Ambrose in the main event. Actually took Dean Ambrose out, knocked him out against the ring post, and Dean Ambrose was counted out. So yeah, we're going to see the continuation of that feud. I do have another thing lined up as well, so maybe what I have planned to do a bit later on, we will do a bit later on, maybe, just to save some things. Big vertical suplex now by Chris Jericho on the outside. Remember, this is Falls Count Anywhere, so no pins. No pins allowed. No countouts, no submissions, and pinfalls allowed anywhere and everywhere. Goldust now the Saito suplex on the outside. Jericho's head was very, very close to the to the ring steps. See the crowd chanting for Goldust. Now Goldust is a unique one in this universe mode. He's currently working for both the current day roster and of course for Attitude Era. At the moment he's part of a tag team alongside Stardust in the current day roster. So I'm thinking that's a feud maybe we can start off next month as well. I want to try and split Goldust and Stardust up for now, because that builds up to another sort of storyline I want to try and do in the future. So maybe after our next pay-per-view in the current day roster, we can split those two up, and that should make things a little bit more interesting, hopefully. Jericho now just sending Goldust halfway up the ramp. Be interesting to see the match finish up here, to tell the truth, because not many matches sort of do go this far up the ramp. Jericho just dropping a knee on the face of Goldust, now continuing the assault to the ground at Goldust. And Jericho is firmly in control of this one. The best thing here for Goldust, though, on the outside is that he's actually going to throw Jericho back into the ring, isn't he? Ah, that's going to ruin it for Goldust now. I was about to say, with Goldust outside the ring, we know that Jericho likes to utilize either the Walls of Jericho or the Lion Salt. Now, the Lion Salt won't work outside the ring because there's no ropes to spring off. And, of course, the Walls of Jericho submissions do struggle on this game still. But Goldust has a hold of the ring steps, and Jericho does stop Goldust swinging them at him. Goldust taking the ring steps back off of Jericho. And just slamming it into the face of Jericho. And now Goldust is attacking the grounded Chris Jericho with them steps. Big boot to the side of the head there by Jericho on Goldust. And it's difficult to see which one of these two guys is really going to come out on top of this one at the moment. Jericho with a big clothesline in the corner. Now lining Goldust up. Could he be going maybe for... Nothing's going to go for the Walls of Jericho, but he takes Goldust up for the final cut. What a cocky man Chris Jericho is. Is that going to be enough? No, it's not. Goldust kicks out. Chris Jericho using Goldust's own finisher against him to try and pick up the victory here. That was very cocky and the sort of thing only Chris Jericho would try and pull off. Jericho now attaching Goldust into the Tree of Woe. And a big backstabber from the top rope. Jericho now. Big diving elbow drop. Brings Goldust back up to his feet, but Goldust tripping Jericho. I was about to say Jericho applying the final touches maybe here to this match, but Goldust managed to get back into it. Jericho sending Goldust over the top of his head. Up into a sit-out butterfly powerbomb. Could this be all? 1, 2, and 3? And it is. Chris Jericho picks up the victory. And Jericho is going on to face Diamond Dallas Page at Unforgiven for the Intercontinental Championship. Now that is going to be a really good match. I'm looking forward to that one already. That really is going to be a top-class match. And this match could have gone either way, really. Both these guys really full of offense towards the other, but it was Jericho who finally came out on top of the whole situation. You saw Jericho try and defeat Goldust with his own finisher maneuver, the final cut. That was not enough. Goldust kicked out on the brink of 3. Then Jericho went up for this big dive. Again, though, not enough. Jericho, they're being tripped by Goldust. But again, that was not enough. But Jericho did manage to catch Goldust in the over the top of the shoulders there. And then upside into the sit-out butterfly powerbomb. And there you go. Chris Jericho defeats Goldust and is going on to Unforgiven to face off against Diamond Dallas Page for the Intercontinental Championship. So, can Jericho do it? No reason why not. I think he's one of the top guys on this Attitude Era roster. And if he's not going for the World Championship, then the Intercontinental Championship is the next best thing for him. And our next match is going to be the Elimination Chamber qualifier between Edge and Shawn Michaels. A rematch from last week when Edge pinned Shawn Michaels, but of course Shawn Michaels' arm was on the ropes. So management are giving Shawn Michaels another opportunity here this evening. Shawn Michaels bringing Edge into the middle of the ring now. There's that twisting neck breaker. So Edge, yeah, like I said, Edge won the match last week, but like I said, Shawn Michaels did have a hold of the bottom rope. Referee did not see it. So management giving Shawn Michaels another opportunity here this evening. Now this happened on our last Universe mode in 2K15. We did a Elimination Chamber pretty early on. I think it was month number 2 once again. And Shawn Michaels did pick up the championship in that Elimination Chamber. Not only did he pick it up, but he kept it for a very long time after that Elimination Chamber as well. So possibly a win here for Shawn Michaels, and we could be doing the exact same thing as we did on 2K15. Edge now with a Saito suplex on Shawn Michaels. That is stamping on the gut of Shawn Michaels as well. Big drop kick there by Edge, avoiding the kick to the stomach by diving out of the way, then catching Shawn Michaels with a kick of his own. Shawn Michaels scoop slam there on Edge, and a big boot to the stomach of Edge as well. Of course, we still have our main event here for you afterwards as well. We're going to see Kane continue his feud off against Haku. Now, hopefully next month we can have some... I'm not saying these feuds aren't great, but I was trying to have some different feuds, and it just would not work at all. So I'm hoping next month the game will allow us to do a bit more. I don't know why it just kept cancelling certain feuds away. Yeah, hopefully it's not going to do the same thing again. Hopefully it's going to let us actually do proper feuds next month, because we could have some really good ones, like Michaels versus Edge could be a really good feud. Kane versus X-Pac, like I said earlier. We could have Undertaker versus, of course, Mankind. Of course, we have got Undertaker versus Batista this month, but again, that seems to have crashed tonight. Doesn't seem to want to work anymore, which is a little bit annoying. Big boot to the back there by Edge. Yeah, and I think 2K still need to bring out at least another patch or two just to get things working the way they should. Execution there by Edge into the pin. 1, 2, and it's only a 2 count. Yeah, because it looks like this evening we've encountered 2 pretty major glitches once again. We've had the feud that seems to have disappeared. And we had the match earlier between Kevin Nash and Rhino, where Nash just stared at Rhino on the ground until I actually had to pick up the controller and play the match myself. Big spear there by Edge on Shawn Michaels. This could be all. Dead center of the ring. And no, Shawn Michaels kicks out once again. Edge can't believe it. He's hit Shawn Michaels with a spear and the execution. What does Edge need to do to keep this man down? Shawn Michaels spinning Edge around now. And there's that Saito suplex of his own. Shawn Michaels the running forearm. Now the atomic drop and a scoop slam as well. Shawn Michaels locking in a sharp shooter here on Edge. For a 1 count there by Shawn Michaels on Edge, and this match still goes on forward, and this could really go either way at the moment. Has been very, very close. On Edge with the Northern Lights suplex again, nearly picks up the victory, but Shawn Michaels kicks out once again. Edge now bringing Michaels back up to his feet, but Michaels there with a jawbreaker on Edge. Michaels sending Edge into that far corner. Edge with a back elbow. Spinning heel kick. Didn't quite catch all of Shawn Michaels, but it may have been enough. Edge bringing Michaels back up to his feet. And there's a second execution of the match. In for the pin. 1, 2. No, this time the referee sees his hand on the rope this time. Referee's been primed to look for that in this match, I think. Edge now again with another spear on Shawn Michaels. Pin again. 1, 2. And there you go. This time Edge is definitely going forward to that Elimination Chamber match at Unforgiven. I'm putting it on the list now. So that is going to be The Rock defending his World Heavyweight Championship against Psycho Sid, Rikishi, Stone Cold Steve Austin, Booker T, and Edge inside the Elimination Chamber. So that is going to be very, very interesting. We could have a very interesting new champion there. Well, I think The Rock is the only person in that match who's ever actually held the championship in our universe mode. None of the other guys have, so should The Rock lose it, we're going to have a brand new champion for us. It could be the likes of Rikishi. Bit of an underdog in this match, Rikishi, but he did defeat Triple H to make it there, so no reason why not. And there was the second spear there by Edge. And Shawn Michaels, I'm not going to say it, but his hand does, from this angle, look underneath the ropes, but there we go. There we go. Either way, Edge is victorious for the second week in a row now over Shawn Michaels. Granted, week number 1, Shawn Michaels had his hand on the ropes. Week number 2 here, Edge definitely deserved the victory. I think he dominated the match for the most part as well. And like I said, he's going on to Elimination Chamber to try and win his championship back away from The Rock. And I've just completely contradicted myself, haven't I? Yes, so Edge has been a champion before in a universe mode. You see Kane just sprinting down to the ring and just takes Haku straight out. And this match kicks off very aggressively by Kane. Now, hopefully no glitches in this one. Kane is... No, there we go. Yeah, Kane and Haku both starting the fight. That's what we need to see. Kane straight away with a pin. 1, 2. Only a 2 count here over Haku. Nearly a very quickly victory already. Quickly victory? A very quick victory. Haku now. Scoop slam. Haku's sending Kane off that far rope, now dropping him face first onto the mat. And Haku is starting to take a bit more control in this match now. And after that early assault by Kane, it's looking good for Haku here. Snapmare now on Kane. Now just locking him in to that chin lock, just trying to slow the match down a little bit. Haku now sending Kane into that ropes and brings him back into a headbutt. Now several more headbutts. And Haku is generally one of the most vicious men in wrestling. Kane now looks to be lining Haku up. Could this be the finish? Kane has Haku by the neck. Takes him up and slams him down in a choke slam. Brings him away from the ropes. 1, 2, and there you go. Kane does pick up the victory in this rivalry against Haku. Kane victorious. Haku back up to his feet though. And now Haku trying to take out Kane from behind, and Kane just continues the assault on Haku and sends him out to the ground below. Kane tops off this victory. Kane tonight won the battle and the war this evening. So that's going to be the end of our episode. But before we finish off, let's have a quick look at the update on this feud. So this is Payback. Kane returned a measure of payback against Haku. So now Haku is on a cold streak. Becomes slightly more prideful from that match. Whereas Kane has been given some momentum and become more prideful and more bold. So Kane really doing the best out of this feud so far. And of course we've still got a couple of weeks left. This is going to end at our pay-per-view next weekend. So everyone, that is the end of this episode of Friday Night Raw is War for the Attitude Era. I hope you have all enjoyed it. And of course, if you have, then be sure to slap that like button. It does help me out a lot. Makes the video easier to find, and that basically helps the channel grow. And we're getting very, very close now to 100,000 views and 2,000 subscribers. So I'd love to reach that by Christmas, or Christmas Day, should I say, which is only 5 days away. It's very possible to do, but I need your help. And of course, if you are not already, then be sure to subscribe. Again, get us up to 2,000 subscribers. That'd be absolutely fantastic. I've been Shabby Gamer. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you all next time.